Good Shabbos, everyone.
Shabbos, Rabbi.
Oh my gosh, you're already excited. I know you're all here to enjoy the peacefulness of Shabbat. And you're not here for the tequila and margaritas. So we're just going to do we're going to do like 3 hours of services. Just kidding. It's about being a part of a community, so find someone you're sitting near. As we always do, wish them a good Shabbos. Introduce yourself to them online. Tell us you're joining us, where you're from, where you're watching from, and make it all nice.
Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Yai, da, 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 bim. Bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, yai da 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 bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam.
Almost feels like it's the beginning of our summer services and that we should be outside. But it rained today, so we couldn't. So we begin, in a sense, in preparation for Shabbat. We'll conclude before we eat with the lighting of the candles and the Kiddush at the end of our services. And we set our intention for our time together. Time of being a part of a community, time of finding old friends and finding new friends, the opportunity just to share. And what that means to be connected to one another. So maybe take a deep breath. Relax. Breathe in God's gift to each and every one of us. Breathe out our gift to this world. Part of our time, as we give ourselves time, is to remind ourselves of what we find most meaningful in our days. So whether our eyes are open or closed, as we meditate, as we think, I ask you to reflect on those invisible lines of connections we find within our world. The Jewish community, in just a few days, we commemorate Yom HaShoah, the day of remembering the Holocaust. And for us as a Jewish community, when a Jew hurts, we all feel that. It links us one to another. It connects us. It's why we have felt these connections even more since October 7th. That reality of not being alone. That which could be our parents or grandparents or great-grandparents in previous generations today could be our brothers and sisters, our mothers and fathers, our sons and daughters. It's the idea of, yes, we feel compassion for all humanity. But when we, as a family, as a community are impacted, we feel something different, a little deeper. When my spouse is in pain, I feel that differently. When my brother's in pain, I feel that differently. My mother, my father, my closest friends. But as a community, we feel that as well. And it connects us. But it also connects us in a sense when we find that which is good in our world too. It's why as we come out of our Pesach holiday, something changed for that week as our Jewish world all did something different. Around Seder tables, with family, with friends, with a congregation, we connected. And even in small groups, we knew there are so many doing the same and what that represents. And I always think as we begin Shabbat, there's that reality that no matter where a Jew is in the world, they too have a moment of Shabbat, of Shabbos peace. Those invisible lines of connection that draw us together and remind us we're not alone, part of something much greater than ourselves.
יד ביד, אחד עם השני. יד ביד, אחד אחד, כן אנו נדליק. נדליק משואת עולם, נדליקה כעם אחד. יד ביד, אחד אחד, כן אנו נדליק. אם אין כמוך, אין תורה. אם אין תורה, אין כמוך. אם אין כמוך, אין תורה. אם אין תורה, אין כמוך. It can be you, it can be me, it can be all people all over the world, lending, caring, sharing hand in hand. It can be you, it can be me, it can be all people all over the world, lending, caring, sharing hand in hand. אם אין כמוך, אין תורה. אם אין תורה, אין כמוך. אם אין כמוך, אין תורה. אם אין תורה, אין כמוך.
Those words, if we're without Torah, we don't have depth. Kemach, the flower that brings sustenance to our being. If we don't have that depth, we don't live with Torah in our midst, with values that project it, that are a part of who we are. And that lifts us up. Our prayers are part of our Torah, are part of our ritual, are part of our depth, are part of what unite us and bring us together. And so it connects us as a community as we join now, as we've all come together with our prayers, our worship, our Shabbat, for our call to worship the Baruch Hu. Today is a CAYA service. We don't use the prayer book formally. If you want, I think it's like 26 or something, somewhere around there. Please rise.
La 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 la, la 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 la. listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto le'olam va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Next prayer that we join together in the words of the Hashkivenu, a prayer that petitions God that when we go to sleep tonight, that tomorrow morning we wake up, that we wake up to life renewed and refreshed. As we say these words, we ask that God spread over us a Sukkot Shlomecha, a shelter of peace, a Sukkot Shlomecha. For a moment, I invite you to close your eyes again, to focus on your breath, to breathe in, slowly inhaling through your nose, and to breathe out, exhaling through your mouth. A Sukkot Shlomecha, a shelter of peace. Picture in your mind, what does that shelter of peace look like? What's your Sukkot Shlomecha? What makes it a shelter of peace? What does it provide protection from? What makes it that inside that shelter, the needs of all are met? What about that shelter makes it so that people treat each other in the way they should be treated? Sukkot Shlomecha. How big is that shelter? The room for just one, for you? Is it large enough for a small group? Does it fit a community inside of it? As it grows, as it gets larger, what changes about it? How do you make sure that that shelter of peace for one provides that protection for everyone? That's what we ask God with this prayer. Spread over us that shelter of peace, God. Look after us. Protect us, so that tomorrow morning we can wake up to life renewed. We can wake up and fulfill that vision in our minds. And we can make that Sukkot Shlomecha a reality.
Guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. And let me make this day a gift of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, ve'amitenu malkeinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, ve'amitenu malkeinu l'chaim.
Preparation for the Amidah, which for those of you following in a prayer book can be found on page 26. The rabbis gave us an opportunity for our own private reflection, for a moment of meditation, so that we could look within and have whatever conversation we wanted with God, with ourselves, that we could share whatever it was that we needed. And so we take a moment now as we rise together. We take a moment for that private meditation. Please pray silently.
חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. As we've done as a community since October 7th, we take a moment now to think of the 133 hostages still being held hostage in Gaza, the ongoing war in Israel, and our prayers and our hopes for the state of Israel, our homeland. Avinu Shabashamayim Tzur Yisrael V'go Aleinu, Barech et Medinat Yisrael. Rock of Israel and our salvation, bless the state of Israel. Guard her in the abundance of your love. Spread over her the shelter of your peace. Send forth your light and truth to those who lead and judge her, that they may walk in the ways of justice, mercy, freedom, and integrity. Strengthen the hands of those who guard our holy land, and let them inherit salvation and life. And give peace to the land and continuous joy to her inhabitants. And soon fulfill the vision of your prophet. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation. Let them learn no longer the ways of war. Let us say, Amen. Think of those defending the state of Israel and working to bring home the hostages. A prayer for the soldiers of Israel. Mishaberach Avotenu Abraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, v'imotenu Sar, Rivka, Leah v'Rachel, v'yavrech et chaylei tzava hagana liYisrael, ha'omdim al mishmar artzenu b'yabasha ba'avir u'v'yam. Merciful God, who blessed our ancestors, send your blessings to the Israeli Defense Forces, who stand guard over our homeland, on land, in the air, and on the sea. May the source of strength preserve and rescue the soldiers from every trouble and distress, and from every plague and illness. And may God send blessing and success in their every endeavor. May God bless the soldiers with wisdom, understanding, and insight. May God grant them salvation and crown them with victory. And let us say, Amen.
Amen. We add to these prayers those for the individuals still held hostage in Gaza, family or friends. 133 we think of at this time. Achenu kol Beit Yisrael. May God be merciful to our fellow Jews who wander over sea or land, who suffer captivity, persecution, and imprisonment. May God soon bring them relief from distress, deliver them from darkness into light, from subjugation to redemption. And let us say, we add to that our prayers of Mishaberach for family, for friends, for those of our own community. We gather with at this time. As we read their names, we walk around with the Torah, we reach out, we touch the Torah, link ourselves with them, reminding ourselves that not only is Torah a source of wisdom and learning for our people as it's been for thousands of years, but so is a source of hope and strength. Please rise. Yisberach Avotenu Abraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sarav Kalei v'Rachel Hu Yivrech et Cholim. Merciful God has blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel. Send your blessings to our loved ones stricken with illness, anxiety, friends, and family we think of at this time. Lisa Ioto and Amy Drysdale Atler, Deborah Bentley, Carol Berg, Michael Brody, Chris Burke, Karen Kasman, Patty Seresny, Baruch Cohen, Richard Colton, Eliezer Matatyahu ben Moshe Gedalia v'Yael, Ann Gotro, Richard Gotro, Paul Glazer, Batia Shapanina, Ava Haber-Kornholm, Ty Hall, Leon Klein, Bob Coffrin, Chaya Aviva Bat-Fagela, Karen Coltono, Marta Lazar, Alan Lieberman, Zoe Marcus, Gary Bernard Martin, Leah Marks, Len Miji, Gail Mintz, Caleb Ben Ba'ami, Lori Nosenchuk, Rezel Batlea Miriam, Corbin Peeler, Carolyn Peterson, Rachelmi Beit Chaim Bachava, Marcy Fisher-Reiners, Leslie Riggs, Laura Rosso, the St. Amman family, Stephen Siegel, Michael Schulman, Becky Silk, Roberta Sanino, Susanna Stern, Len Turman, Karen Thompson, Stuart Thompson, Marilyn Webb, Faye Zuckerman, as well as especially thinking of the over 6,000 Israeli soldiers physically injured since October 7th, and all those in Israel and throughout the world emotionally hurting and in need, as well as all the names in our hearts. Baruch Atah Adonai Rapha Cholim. Bless you, God, give strength to those in need.
תהית גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני לך
Nothing can fill the emptiness that a death leaves behind. Those who are no longer a physical presence are still alive within our thoughts and our words. Their memories are only a part of the picture. So long as we recall their presence, then their warmth, their friendship, their heart, mind, and thought are still within our soul. We honor and cherish the ones we love by living our lives to the fullest. So on this Shabbos, we think of those friends and family who have been taken from us in these most recent days, who Shiva, Shloshim, and Shana we mark. Mark Snyder, Mark Seiner, Louise Oram, Joe Perlman, Philip Kwaski, Eileen Porcelli, Robert Alpers, Stephen Cohen, Martin Myers, Reef Harouche, Mikulis Kuzdak, Harold Firestone, Dr. Eve Rader, Sam Rader, Lori Faber, Rabbi Daniel Schwartz, and the 263 IDF soldiers killed defending Israel and working to bring home the Israeli hostages. The 1,200 individuals whose lives were lost in the terrorist attack in Israel on October 7th, and all the innocent lives lost during this ongoing war. And to their names we add those whose yard sites we mark, those of whose anniversary of passing we lovingly commemorate. Pearl Adler, Ruth Affridge, Alice A. Hart, Evelyn Brown, James Chandler, Marty Cook, Robert Cutler, Manuel Dorfman, Annette Dover, Ray Epstein, Ethel Feldstein, Harriet Fink, Jane Focht, Lenore Fogelman, Cecilia Esther Frank, Leo Friedman, Harry Freitag, Norman Gallant, Eric Marshall Gilbert, Joe Marjorie Gilbert, Gerald Gold, Ida Goodman, Stephen Gerwin, Sidney Greenberg, Stephen Gerwin, Barbara Halm, Irving Hershen, Max Heller, Florence Hillenberg, Charlotte Hoffman, Freda Holdengraber Kramer, Gerald Jerry Jacobs, Ann Kelly, Doc Lee Chelson, Harry Emanuel Kretschmer, Rhonda Kushner, David Lieberman, Rose Ledger, Sally Levine, Lynn Margolin, Morton Marks Margolis, Herman Margulis, Mel Miller, Murray Henry Miller, Richard Moskowitz, Herschel Mosen, Bert Naines, Erwin Nyman, Ann Neisnick, Harold Orden, Arthur Pollack, Murray Robinson, Gertrude Rosen, Shelley Rosenfield, Jean Sandler, Beatrice B. Schwartz, Henry Severin, Hilda Shapiro, Leonard Silk, Ralph Silver, Beatrice Saunders, Paul Rodney Stein, Harold Tobin, Nate Tarnow, Mary Varon, Justin Weber, Robert Cresswell Jr., Robert Cresswell West Jr., Judy Yarber, Julius Zuckerman, along with all the names in our hearts, and those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. Do we join together in the immortal words of the mourner's Kaddish, which can be found on page 46 in the prayer books in front of you, praising God for the gift of life. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'almad divrach hirtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon uvyomachon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarach le'alam amei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudashah b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabbah min shmaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, huya se shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn. Comfort to all the bereaved among us here and everywhere, as together we say, amen.
Oseh shalom bimroma, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimroma, say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu 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 ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbos, everyone.
Shabbos.
So let's kindle our Shabbos candles, and I invite Flo Paterni to help us in lighting of the candles. And I'll tell you, Flo is one of our minion leaders as well, who comes to our homes during Shiva and helps out and does a beautiful job leading our community. And I'll mention that because it's a great mitzvah to do. So if anyone's interested, she can help teach it too.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של
Few things to share about things on the calendar at Shir Shalom in the upcoming weeks. I'm teaching a new class, CAYA, a Jewish view of living and doing, a new session of that. It's beginning on Monday, a lunch and learn, continuing that philosophy conversation. Tea Talk and Torah will be this Wednesday, May 8th at 2 p.m. Wednesday evening, the women of Shir Shalom will be gathering for a game night at 6:30 p.m. Women of Shir Shalom, if you'd like to learn more about that. It's a great group that's reassembled this year beautifully. Brotherhood's meeting a week later on the 15th at 6:30 p.m. here for dinner. Another great group to join and be a part of. And one of my favorite nights of the entire year in 2 weeks on May 19th is our high school graduation, SISTE graduation, here in the sanctuary at 7 o'clock. We have how many seniors graduating? 15? 15 seniors this year. So
Gregor, we honored just not only our graduates that night as they graduate and they're on our bima, but we also honor our teachers and teaching assistants that help out on Sunday mornings and throughout today. So Robin Tarno back there, we get to give her a shout out as well that evening and some special recognition for those teachers. So we hope that you'll all join us for that night as well.
And our outgoing youth group board and our incoming youth group board. Some of your children are a part of that as well, and so it's nice to share in that too. Good stuff. So before we make our blessing over the wine and move into our oneg, a moment of Tish where you may have a question about anything that's on your mind, and we share a little bit of our learning and move into our joy.
If you're online, we'll also take the questions there. Yes, Amy, who celebrated a birthday this week.
How do we determine how many candles we kindle for Shabbos? So we traditionally have kindled 2 candles, and one is kindled before we walk in, so we use that to light the other candles. But we've been lighting a 3rd candle since October 7th in honor and those who can't light candles in Israel right now, especially the hostages that we're thinking of. And so those who aren't given the blessing, an opportunity to observe Shabbat. So we've added that. So there have been some times we had earlier, when there were still over 200 hostages, we kindled that with Dan Nichols in that October time. We filled the bima with candles that night. So,
But the reason for 2 is because in Exodus and Deuteronomy, we're given the 10 Commandments 2 different times. Deuteronomy, the 2nd telling of it. In one time, we're told Shamor et HaShabbat, to preserve the Sabbath. The 2nd time, Zachor et HaShabbat, to remember the Sabbath. So preserve and remember. And so the idea was that we light one to Shamor et HaShabbat, to guard the Sabbath, and the second one to Zachor, to remember the Sabbath. And so that's why 2 candles are traditionally used. And then as Rabbi shared, you can always add more than that as well. Yep. There's a nice tradition of that too, for each soul that you add to it too.
we did that too. And then one for the dog as well. When she came into the home and the children were 6 and 8, I think, they said, well, shouldn't she have a candle too? And Addie agreed, and so our dog knew the word Shabbat. When she heard us singing for Shabbat, she knew because she got some challah too. So it was special for her as well. That's how you train animals. I actually had a cat. I know, it's a weird story. But the only day of the week my cat would get wet food would be Friday evening. And so I trained her when she would hear Shabbat Shalom, she would start meowing and come right to the kitchen. So, and I'm not a cat person. My cat was a dog trapped in a cat's body. I definitely believe that. So, anyway, on that. So, another question over there? Yes. Why do we read Hebrew right to left? Because we're a funny, awkward people. I mean, all the Semitic languages from that area of the world, Arabic and earlier ones, Ugaritic and Akkadian, all went that direction, right? So Hebrew and develops from that as well. Now, why? Some say we read the way we would farm, and you'd go back and forth in your reading from line to line. It became uniform. And so the idea. Judaism always, in most traditions, that right is always correct. And so you start in the right corner of something as you read, as you start moving along. Why English is left to right might be a different question. I don't know. Anything to add to that?
There's another, who knows if it's true. We have no idea why we write right to left, but there's somebody that once wrote that when you're chiseling, so if you're writing into stone and you're right-handed, if you're chiseling from left to right, it's a lot more difficult, that you'll actually mess up the letters, but if you're going right to left, it's a lot easier, and it's unlikely that you'll make a mistake with something and take out the letter beforehand. Anytime I hit with anything with a hammer, it's all over the place, so I have no idea if that's true or not, but...
I was thinking of like quills and fountain pens, how difficult it is. As I like to write with a fountain pen, and I have to always be very careful. So right to left to right is easier. So unless you're left-handed. In a moment, we'll go. Oh, yes, Abby. B and an H, or a bet and a hay. So you'll see different things. That sometimes in an invitation to a Jewish wedding or a bar mitzvah, traditionally, you'll see a bet, a Hebrew letter bet, and a hay in the corner, or a B and an H. What else is there, Yali? Yeah, no. So BH is Ezrat Hashem, with the help of God, right? That we're throwing this party not just because of our own nachas, but because God has blessed us and we're able to create this.
But it's also that idea of, like, when we see somebody or we know somebody's pregnant, we say B'shah Tovah, in good time. So the idea is that it's a prayer in a sense. With the help of God, we'll make it to this occasion because we never know what's in store for us. So Bezrat Hashem, we're able to celebrate this joyous simcha together.
AJ, if you ask a question, you're delaying everyone's margaritas and tequila. You know that. What's your question, AJ? What happens if a prayer? That's why we have some go left to right and some go right to left.
So like the prayer book in front of you, we've got doing it both. And if you look, the prayer book itself will open from the right to left, but when we read the Hebrew from right to left, and below it we'll have the English going left to right.
So we have tacos and tequila tonight to enjoy just because it's fun. It's this time of the month of May 5th of Cinco de Mayo. The idea of tequila, we decided to make a margarita tonight. I don't like sweet, and you go to my temple. So it's a simple... It's a simple margarita. Just Blanco tequila, curacao, lime juice, a little agave syrup. If you want it spicy, I have some, I could only get Tabasco jelly for it. I like using ghost pepper jelly from Stonewall Kitchen, but you have to order that in advance. I'm not that well prepared to think that far in advance, so I have something else. So we have it pre-mixed, most of it, but my fellow bartenders, Brian and Daniel, and I will shake your cocktail for you, serve that with you, and we can add the spicy. One of us will be doing spicy if you like. I also have an organic tequila that I really enjoy called Tres Agaves. If you want to sip tequila, to try that as well. It's an añejo. It's about, I think it's 2 years and 8 months old, and it's aged in a Four Roses bourbon cask. It's got... Okay, I'll bring out some bourbon as well for you, and so give me a moment to set that up. Where's Gordy Cranen? He's somewhere in the sanctuary. Gordy, it's your birthday, isn't it? So, in honor of your birthday, you get to lead us in the Kiddush tonight. Come on up and join us. Come on up.
But as Gordy is coming up, 2 other events that we want to make sure that you're aware of, different things that are happening in our community. On Sunday evening is Yom HaShoah V'Gvura, and it's a Holocaust Remembrance and Heroism Day. I think there's something going on at the Holocaust Memorial Center. You can pick up names to be able to read so that we remember the 6 million Jews who perished in the Holocaust. Next week on Sunday the 12th, Yom HaZikaron, there's a community vigil for the fallen soldiers of Israel, those who have died in terrorist attacks as well. And so that is going to be somewhere in West Bloomfield. You have to register in order to find out the location of it, but it's Sunday night, May 12th, 4 o'clock to 5:30. So 2 other events. If you want information about those, see us and we can share that with you too.
Join in giving thanks for the sweetness of this day and our friend's birthday. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pori hagafen. Amen. You got to drink it, yeah. And ask Gordy about brotherhood as he helps lead that as well. Exciting thing. Exciting for Michigan as well, and for the Mintz clan and the Gatch clan. Big announcement: the first ever graduate of the Shir Shalom preschool to get a Division I football scholarship. Avery Gatch declared that he's going to Michigan this afternoon. So please rise for our closing prayer. Adonai. May God bless you. May God protect you.
May God shine upon you. May God shine through you.
Adonai. May God always be a part of who we are as a community, giving us our strength, giving us our hope, giving us our wisdom, most of all, giving us peace. Good Shabbos, everyone.
Shabbos.